Welcome to Scary Stories. We've been receiving requests for some time to revive our old soap opera series, Brian's Lichen Troubles, but there are no additional chapters to that. What we do have is this brand new story about a werewolf and the woman who loves him. Let's start off from the werewolf's point of view. Here's the story of how he became who he is now. Lucas. I had always dreamed of being promoted to a higher position in my company. After all, I had worked tirelessly and devoted countless hours to the job, hoping that one day my hard work would finally pay off. So when I was called into the office of the company president, I was brimming with excitement and pride. But as soon as I entered that room, everything changed. The door slammed shut behind me, and the only people in the room besides me were two burly guards that hemmed me in from both sides. The president himself was nowhere to be seen at first, leaving me feeling uneasy and confused. Suddenly I heard a low growl from the corner of the room, and before I could even react, I saw something that made me want to scream in terror. The president of the company walked into the room with an evil smirk plastered across his face. But it wasn't his normal smirk. His face was elongated, his teeth glistening ominously in the light. As his features twisted and distorted, I tried to scream, but my throat constricted with terror, and I couldn't make a sound. As the president got closer, the two guards held me down like a helpless animal. Then it happened. The president transformed into a massive wolf before my very eyes, his entire body warping and changing. His fur was black as coal. His eyes were blood red and gleaming with a human intelligence. I was helpless as he pounced on me, biting down hard on my flesh. As he bit, I felt something strange coursing through my veins. It was like all the adrenaline in my body was being replaced with an animalistic vigor that made me feel invincible. Then, as quickly as it had started, it was finished. The president stopped biting me, returning to his human form with a wicked smile on his face. I was dazed, I was in shock, and something inside me had fundamentally changed. As I walked out of that room, I knew that I had been cursed, changed into something that was no longer a human. I had become a werewolf, a monster that would stalk the night, feeding on unsuspecting prey. My life had changed forever, and I couldn't turn back the clock. All that was left for me was to embrace the darkness and continue on with my life as a werewolf. But as I walked through the empty corridors of the office building, my mind was filled with a sense of foreboding and uncertainty. I had no idea what lay ahead, but deep down inside, I knew it was going to be terrifying. And I knew that the worst was yet to come. And now let's meet Ginger. So, the other day, I was chatting with my dad, and I made a deal with him that is majorly gonna work in my favor. You see, Daddy has always been all about controlling my finances, which is so totally annoying. But I guess I understand why, because let's face it, I haven't always made the best financial decisions, especially when it comes to shopping sprees. Anyway, so I told Daddy that if he gives me half of my inheritance now in a lump sum, then he can give the whole rest to charity or whatever. And you know what? He actually agreed to it. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for the entire thing, just half of it. And now here's the best part. I'm totally going to use that money to invest in something that will make me even more money. I mean, why just let it sit in some boring bank account when I can be using it to get even richer? I've been doing my research and I've already found a few things that seem promising. And if all goes according to plan, I'll be making a ton of money before Daddy even realizes what's happening. Now let's cut back to poor Lucas. And he says, I ran into my boss's granddaughter, and she flirted with me again. I don't feel much like flirting back these days, though. My confidence is shot. They've got me working as muscle, or really teeth and claws. They bring me into a room with some guy that they need to do something that he doesn't want to do, see? And sometimes when he's got a werewolf freaking out in his face, barely being held back by 3 big goons, then the guy decides to do as he's asked by my boss, you know? But there are other times where even that won't make the guy abandon his principles. And when that happens, then they have me go crazy on the guy. It's horrible. I can't look myself in the mirror after some of the things that they've made me do. And it's hard to hold my head up as a consequence. How do I feel good about myself when I know I'm a slave who has no choice in his life? And how do I have any self-esteem when I have to do such horrible things every single day? And I do have to do them. It's not like I can quit. I'm loyal to the boss. I don't have a choice except to be. He bit me to make me a werewolf, but he's more than a werewolf. I saw him become the wolf, but some of the guys were explaining to me he isn't limited to just that. He can become almost anything. He's a top-level shapeshifter, and if his granddaughter didn't look so very perfectly human, I would wonder if my boss was from outer space. I do have some of his power when I'm the werewolf, but I'm just a dog in that state, and I obey my master without thinking, in a very literal sense. Now, it might not have been immediately clear, but when Lucas refers to his boss's granddaughter, he's referring to Ginger. So now let's cut back to her. Ugh, I don't understand why I can't stop thinking about Lucas. He's just a shy guy who works at my grandfather's company, but there's something about him that draws me in. Maybe it's how mysterious he seems. Regardless, I can't help but feel a crush coming on. But lately it just seems like Lucas has been really sad. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's been weighing on my mind. I wish I could understand him better and help him through whatever he's going through. I mean, I don't want to sound conceited, but maybe I could be the one to make him happy? I do have everything he could ever want. Money, a social life, a great wardrobe. Maybe I could show him a different world and make him forget about whatever is bothering him. You know, it's frustrating not being able to just ask him what's going on. I don't want to come across as nosy, and I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, I do want to know. I want to be there for him. Ugh, why do I always have to make everything about myself? Maybe Lucas just needs someone to listen to him and be there for him. Maybe he doesn't need me in my grand gestures, but I can't help but feel like I could make a difference in his life. You know, I don't know what to do, but I can't shake this feeling of wanting to help him. Maybe I'll start by trying to strike up a conversation and hopefully get to know him better. Maybe then I'll be able to really understand what's going on with Lucas. So what did Lucas write in his diary next? He wrote this. The boss's granddaughter cornered me at work today and forced me to have lunch with her. I don't know if I'm in trouble for that, but she's difficult to say no to. She seems to think I'm a badass because I call her Ginger for her red hair instead of using her real name. The thing is, her real name is French, and I can't really pronounce it correctly. It's one of those stupid French words like croissant, you know? It doesn't sound the same way as it looks when you read it. Anyway, lunch was weird, with her telling me she wanted to help me, then telling me she wanted to listen to me, but I didn't have anything to say, so she didn't have much to listen to. She says she wants to know why I'm sad. What am I supposed to do? Tell her that her grandfather turned me into a werewolf, and that I'm forced to do terrible, unspeakable things in her family's name? I can't tell her that. So I just insisted that I'm not sad, you know? I told her I just had a moody look, that was all. But it didn't matter what I said. She just kept getting more of that concerned look on her face. I don't know if I ever saw her concerned about anyone but herself before, but for some reason, she seems to have taken a liking to me. I wish I really could run off with her someplace. A rich girlfriend with her looks. And she genuinely likes me, it seems. What a 1 in a million. But she came a week too late. I can't have a girlfriend anymore. I'm a werewolf now. I'm not even a human being. I'm just an animal, and I deserve to be treated as such. Ginger says, as I walked toward my grandpa's office, I was bursting with excitement. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved exploring his majestic office, filled with expensive furniture, antique books, and fancy gadgets. As I entered the room, something felt different. The atmosphere was tense, and my grandpa was shouting into a phone. I hesitated for a moment, but my curiosity got the better of me. I decided to sneakily walk toward the bookshelf, pretending to examine the books, while eavesdropping on my grandpa's conversation. Suddenly something odd caught my eye. I did a double take, as in the corner of the room, I saw what seemed to be a big wolf lying on the floor. I almost screamed. Then I rubbed my eyes, thinking it might be a trick of light. No, it was real. My heart raced as I tried to make sense of what was happening. I overheard my grandpa saying, "Transform back into Lucas now." And that's when it hit me. That wolf was actually a werewolf, and my grandpa had the power to control it. My heart skipped a beat when the werewolf suddenly transformed into Lucas. There he stood, looking confused, disoriented, but still handsome as ever. I had had a crush on him for several months now, but I never had the courage to tell him. As Lucas woke up and tried to wrap his head around the situation, I turned around, shocked and unsure of what to do. I froze, praying he didn't notice me. But suddenly I felt his warm breath on my neck as he whispered in my ear, "You never told me you like supernatural things." My cheeks blushed with embarrassment as I tried to play it off, and I told him that I'm just supernatural curious. Lucas smiled, and for a brief moment, I felt like we shared a secret. After that day, I could not stop wondering about my grandpa's secret powers and the supernatural world he had one foot in. However, I also couldn't stop thinking about Lucas and the fact that I accidentally witnessed something so intimate and private. It felt like our relationship took a new turn, and I could not wait to see where it would go next. You know, it's no secret this is the hardest period we've ever had on YouTube. Our views are down, our revenue is down. We don't know how we're going to keep going. And without donations from people like Megara, we literally would have stopped already. Megara is a member of our PayPal subscribers club, which you can join at peterbernard.com. When you join, you get perks like 4 secret episodes a month, all Dogman episodes. And when you donate, that money goes directly to food and important supplies to keep the show going. So please consider becoming a member at peterbernard.com. There are other ways you can help the channel, and here to explain those is our international TV spokesmongrel, Henry Lee Dogman. Hank? Thanks, Biggie. And thanks to all of you for watching this far. If you liked it, please click like. If you'd like to see more of our work, please subscribe. And also click that bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we put out a new episode. To become an executive producer, you can donate to us through the thanks button under each of our videos or through our paypal.me/peterbernard209 page. To receive cool perks like secret uncensored Dogman episodes far too wild to ever run on this channel, you can become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button, or join our PayPal subscribers club at peterbernard.com. Joining either at the $3 a month level or above gets you access to our over 25 hours of secret uncensored Dogman stories available nowhere else. Do you have a scary story about Dogman or some other kind of high strangeness that happened to you? Let us know by emailing us at scarystoriesnyc@gmail.com or by leaving us a voicemail message at 804-LA-SCARY. You may need to call back on that one. It cuts off after, I think, 3 minutes. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff, thank you for simply watching to the end. Good night, and have a scary tomorrow.
more scary stories.